What is up, DG Army nethervoid, also known as John, doing some more strategy for you this week. And today I'm going to be doing the M103, the American Tier 9 heavy tank. Now, this thing is actually not what has been standard throughout the game. This is actually something, it's not really that recent. I think it's like 7.2 or 7.3, something like that. This is an awesome tank, though. It's got great... for some reason, even though the stats don't look like it, it's got great armor in the front. It's got a really amazing gun. It's got nice mobility and speed. This is really the best heavy tank I've ever driven. I like it better than the E75, even though supposedly that thing has more armor and stuff. The 103, I don't know why, but I always have an amazing time in this thing. Let's look at my stats in it. It should be pretty low because I've not had it that long, really. So I have not even got Ace Tanker with it. Actually, I thought my win percentage was higher than that. Huh, interesting. But still, hit ratio 83%. This gun has amazing accuracy. It's a really awesome game tank. Look at that, 811 average experience per battle. That's pretty good, I think, for this tank. Maybe could be a little higher. I'm not really sure, but this is an amazing tank. I always feel like I do really good with this tank. Let's look at some stats for this thing. 850 hit points. A little bit higher than middle of the pack. The Germans are coming in at about 1950, 1920 for E75, 1920. And then the American tank here, and then the Russians have about 1800 or so, and the French has 1750. So it doesn't really matter. 100 points here or there is not going to really matter when you get it to this level. But it does have a little bit higher than normal, than average hit points. This engine speed is awesome for how much weight it has at 57 tons, 860 horsepower engine. It's pretty nice. I think that's about 15, right? Because double that would be 114. So that's about 15 to 1 power to weight ratio. Maybe a little higher than that, actually. No, actually about right. Yeah, 15 to 1 or so. 34 speed limit, you will get up into the 30s. I've done it lots of times. 28 traverse speed, along with the 32 turret, and you're looking at 60, and that's really good for a heavy tank. And very mobile right there, as you can see from these two stats combined. Hull armor is really good from the front. 203 at this very angled front plate here. Nothing's getting through that. Well, not nothing, but it has very good front armor. The side and back armor, obviously, pretty bad. Don't get flanked. It's not that hard, and you should know that by now in a tier 9. The turret armor, it seems pretty weak with 127 in the front, but look at the angle on that thing. Everything about this turret is angled in the front. There aren't even any flat spots, really. There's a couple viewports here, but I do not think those will give you damage when you hit them. They will just damage the viewports. There's a slight flat part right here. It's actually not flat. See how it's all angled? So 127 armor at that kind of steep angling is really good. Again, if they get shot from the side, you're going to get penned. This thing, if you get flanked, you're going to get shot. So make sure you keep the front of the armor of this tank at your enemy. And I forgot to talk about how you drive this thing. Let's get through the stats and I'll talk about it. 390 view range, not the greatest, but pretty good. It doesn't really matter as much for a heavy because you should be close to the front anyway. So 390, you should be hopefully being able to spot a few people as long as they're sitting behind bushes. And you're going to see a case where I could not spot the people sitting behind bushes. 745 meter signal range is all you'll ever need out of your radio. It's going to cover the whole map pretty much. At least link up with other people's radios, which should get you at least to 1,000 meters combined with the other person's radio. So the way you drive this tank is it's very mobile. So you can be very aggressive with this tank and get in people's faces. Keep the front of your armor toward the enemy at all times. We've talked about that before. Obviously, you're going to angle your armor like so, like we've also talked about before. Just do not get flanked. Watch your minimap. In this tank, the key to survival and victory in this tank is watching your minimap, making sure you don't get flanked, and I'll show you in a game I had where I was really worried about getting flanked and I was being very cautious at the beginning, and I'll tell you what the decisions I made in that situation. That's kind of how you're gonna use this tank's mobility to get around the map. You can respond to trouble situations for your team, and with the big gun and armor on this thing, and great accuracy of the gun and great pen, you should be able to at least hold off the enemy and let your other guys do all the work on the other side of the map. But the mobility on this thing's awesome. You should be able to move around enough to not get artied. If you get artied in the face with this thing, you stayed in one spot too long, because the mobility is good enough where you should either be behind cover or you should be dancing around, and arty will probably not want to go after you. They're probably better targets for arty. So now let's talk about weak spots. We have already talked about that. I couldn't get a 3D model on this thing because it's kind of a newer tank, but the places you want to hit this thing are the turret ring, the driver port, you can damage that, the lower plate obviously. These also seems to be pretty weak on these corners, just like a lot of tanks, or right through the front wheel of the track here. You'll get a track damage, and it'll go through side armor, and you'll get a nice hit right there. You can hit the very flat part right next to the mantlet here. It's pretty hard to hit. So especially since when you drive up in someone's face, you should be wiggling your stuff around like this, so he's not able to get a good shot on you, and I'll also show you that in a video I have. If you shoot the top plate right here, it's just going to bounce. It's going to either ricochet or bounce, so don't do that. The cupola is obviously also a great spot to shoot. It's pretty bulbous like in most American tanks. So shoot there. That's pretty much the weak spots, obviously all on the sides of weak spot and all on the back. For the back, sometimes you'll get bounces if you go for like right in this area here, or you go for the top right here, you'll get bounces. Or there's some spaced armor sometimes on these tanks on the sides. Shoot it right in the back here or right in the back of the turret, and you should have a better chance of penetrating. I know it sounds weird, but when you make every shot count and aim for every shot no matter where you're shooting. So those are weak points. Let's look at its modules. A tier 10 radio, like I said, all you'll ever need. It's only on the M103. But still, I would research it. You're going to start with this 410 meter radio, not the greatest radio. That's interesting. Huh. I got this. That's odd. I thought this came researched for me. Apparently didn't. So yeah, you're going to have to start out with this 400 meter radio. Not the greatest, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I think I got this because I already had the radio unlocked when I had the T-34. That was the tier 9 when they switched it out with this tank. But you're going to start with this 410 meter radio. Not that great. Stay close to to allies and you'll be fine. Upgrade to this radio when you do get a chance. We'll probably almost do it at the end of the tank when you're almost ready to get out of this tank, or grind out the T110 E5. Tracks, like most tracks, you get a 2 degree per second increase, but you don't need the tracks to get all the modules on this tank. So don't get the tracks till almost the end. You already have great mobility, so getting the tracks is just kind of a bonus. But hey, that's the way it is. Again, the engine is already pretty awesome at 780 hit points. I always do that. Horsepower. You don't really need the 860. It's just nice when you get it. It's not a huge increase. Again, you'll probably wait till almost the end like I did and just get it toward the end. The turret, you will need the turret for the upgraded gun, so you're going to have to get it first, and it comes first on the tech tree anyway. You don't really see any benefit to the new turret except slight view range and a little bit more hit points. So really you're getting it to get the big gun. So here's where this tank shines, and you all know that I say the key to a good tank is a good gun. You should start out with this 120. No, you won't. That is really weird. I did start out with it because, again, it was unlocked when I had the T-34. So you're going to start with this 105, which is not a great gun to have on the tier 9. 200 pen, 320 damage, really not that great. You're going to have to shoot at weak spots, and you're going to have to use your mobility to try to flank people and stuff, and hopefully they won't notice that you have the crappy gun. You can't really tell when someone has the other turret. So let me show you the other turret here. It's kind of hard to tell when the person has the unupgraded turret. As you can see, there's no machine gun on it. So if you see a guy has no machine gun, he does not have the upgraded turret, which means he does not have the best gun. He might have the second gun, but he doesn't have the M58 here, which is the really, really awesome gun with the 269 pen, which is really just the only difference here is 269 pen. A little bit faster reload speed, but again, the 25 upgrade penetration makes this thing just insane. So if you see the no machine gun, you might be able to get a little bit more in this guy's face because he probably won't be able to pen you as easily. Now, if he has the machine gun and you see he's got this little extra piece on his gun, that means he does have the M58, and you have to watch out for that 269 pen. This is a great gun. It's a tier 10 gun. I do believe this is what you get on the tier 10 T110E5. Let's just look. Yep, M58. There it is. Now you get the same reload on it too. M536. So it's actually the exact same gun. I hate when they do that because I hate when I jump up a tier and I don't get a better gun. But it's nice because you basically get the awesome gun on this tier 9 tank. So don't think of it as a bad thing that your tier 10 gun does not get an upgrade. Think of it more like, hey, I got the tier 10 gun on the tier 9 tank, and that's one of the best things I love about this tank, is it's so awesome because of this gun. It has pretty good accuracy at 37. The aim time is really good, especially for a heavy. A lot of the Russian aim times are coming in at 3. So you can pop off a shot before they can and get behind cover again. The reload speed is pretty good. I think it's like 9-something seconds for a reload. And but really, look at that, 269 pen. You still have to aim, but with this kind of accuracy, aim time, and that pen, you're gonna damage guys. And I wreck whole teams with this tank, with just this gun, basically. The 400 damage is not insane, but it doesn't matter if you're penning every shot. The guy, it's gonna like boom, 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 boom. The guy's dead. So this is really use this gun to your advantage. So now that we've talked about modules, let's talk about research. Here's the M103's tech tree, and this is really simple because nothing is unlocked when you get this tank, which is kind of a pain because, well, especially for guns. Again, you're going to start out with this 105mm gun, which is not horrible, but it's not good. For a tier 9, this is not a good gun. It only has 198 pen and 320 damage. It's not that great. So you're going to go right up the gun line right here and go with the 120, then right to this turret, and then to the M58 here, and that's pretty simple to do. And then I go after this engine because that's going to increase your mobility a lot. Then the tracks, and finally this radio. Or if you feel like you're not getting good radio communication, go for the radio first, and then the tracks. But since you're going to be in games with tier 8s, 9s, and 10s and stuff, they should all have a pretty big radio, so you kind of don't need this radio to the end. So I would go gun line, engine, tracks, radio, and that's how I do it. You'll see it off on the side. Let's go back to my garage. So we've talked about research, now let's get into equipment, and this is just standard equipment for me in heavies, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Improved vent, pretty simple, increases all your crew stats, and makes your whole tank better. The rammer, which is kind of a no-brainer, makes you shoot faster, and the vert stab is great because, especially with this kind of a mobile tank, you should be able to pop out and take your shot even faster with that vert stab, move around corners and pop guys before they can even react. Vert stab is definitely the way to go for almost all tanks, mediums and heavies alike. Unless they're super, super slow, I guess you might not want it. But I put it on almost every tank. So that's equipment. Ammo, 4 HE shells, the rest AP. I've been doing that for a long time. It hasn't changed. So that's pretty standard. Also a full rack of consumables here. Tier 7 and above, I have a full rack of consumables. Fire extinguisher kit and heal kit. So now, for your crew, they should actually look a little better than this one, I think. Actually, no, this is how they should look. I transferred my T-34 crew over to this tank when I did finally get this tank when the patch hit. So your crew should look a lot like mine, 76% or so of the secondary unlocked, and I'm thinking I might have almost 100% on the secondary by the time I hit 185,000 XP. That's 150,000 to go. And let's go over my skills here. Full repair, that's kind of obvious. I would probably go Brothers in Arms after I got full repair. So what I do is I would get what's this called again? Mentor first, which increases the speed by 10% of the rest of your crew skill training. And then I would get repair on everything else. Once they all hit 100%, I'd switch that first set over to Brothers in Arms, actually a little past 100%, because what I would do is do it like this. You go to the personnel file and you say drop skills and perks, and you use the 20,000 credit 90% one, and that means if you're a little over 100%, like 110 maybe, then you should end up with 100% crew skill still. Set all those crew skills to Brothers in Arms, then reset your commander to mentor and all these guys back to repair, and that's the way I'd do it. Now for the gunner, on your third skill, I would get snapshot. Basically what that does is adds another 7.5% vert stab once it maxes all the way out. This will be in effect even before 100%, so it's a great skill to have. For my driver, I got off-road driving because what that does is increases my mobility on sand maps and stuff like that. I think it's pretty good. The turning speed on this thing is already decent, so I really don't think you need clutch braking. Again, I think this still works even though it's under 100%. Now, the loader, I got Adrenaline Rush here because I have 2 loaders in this tank. You can get both Adrenaline Rush and Safe Stowage. Adrenaline Rush will increase your reload speed when you're under 10% health, and the safe stowage adds 12.5% hit points to your ammo rack, which is really nice for, you know, not getting your ammo rack taken out or having an explosion. Both of these are perks. They are only good at 100%, so you probably won't ever unlock those, but the loader is the only guy that doesn't have something that works below 100%, so you're kind of stuck. But with 2 loaders, you can get both. These are both great perks if you can get them to 100%. So that's the crew, and let's get this thing in some games. I have some really good games I want to show you. Alright, so we got this game here on Fisherman's Bay, and it's a decent game. It's not like my best game in this tank. And what I'm doing right here is before I move out, I kind of watch where people are going. And heavies really need to be in the city, so I guess it didn't really matter. Again, rolling over the depot to make sure nobody hides behind it. So anyway, this is one of those games, though, where I don't want to get flanked. And you'll see I get into a situation where I could easily get sandwiched and pretty much juiced. But I don't let that happen. I have to evaluate the situation before I make my move. So what do we got out here, actually? IS T32, T34. This is shaping up to be a great set of people over on this side. But look at these guys down on line 4. They just, I don't know what they're doing. I guess they didn't figure out what they were doing before 10 minutes into the match or something like that. KV5. These are really easy to take out for this thing. If you shoot the R2D2 with this gun, it's going to go through almost every time. So these KV5s are like pretty much easy kills. IS. Now the only thing I'm going to be really concerned with is where is their IS-3. Well, the lows could be pretty harmful too because they have nice pen. Their damage isn't really great, but again, very accurate guns. Wow, that KV5 is already getting swarmed because he just drove right into harm's way. Now I went right past because he's already getting handled. No big deal. Just let him go by. And yes, type. Bam! Anytime you can hit a type and take him out quick, do it. Types are very good tanks, and if they're driven by a good driver, bam, you're out of the game. They can do a lot of damage. So took him out. So I've been thinking about bringing back Fan Fridays. Let me know what you think in the comments. IS-3 here. Because I just feel like I'm not as connected to fans. I'm also going to try to start responding to comments from older videos. Not that much because I am pretty busy, but I think I have enough to where I can at least check comments and stuff. Again, I will be commenting on any comments put up in the video threads in the video description. There's a couple threads there where there's a thread in each one of these video series where okay, so I was waiting for the IS-3 to pop out here to blow him away. He didn't do it, though. Looks like he's just backed up, trying not to get hit. Artie, I'm going to click to get him killed. Now, there's the low. Bam! It's getting a lot of penetration, no damages since patch 7.5. So here's their 103. Now, he could easily flank me right here. I'm in a super bad position, so I start backing up. But anyway, there's a thread in the video description where I talk about strategy series. Please go check it out. Leave a comment in there. IS-3, the other tank I'm kind of worried about, taking him out. I could easily get sandwiched by that 103, but I figure he must be pretty noob. He's not coming out and taking advantage of his position. Right in the back. Bam! Remember I was saying don't take any chances, hit him right in the center of the back. So I do get hit by the Artie there. That's the only thing. That's why I was hiding behind this house. Free shot on the IS. Boom! You're out of the game. So I did see that I could get flanked right there, but I made the assessment that the M103, boom, you're dead. The M103 was a noob on their team, so I took the chance and just gunned it out there. Just got around those 2 other tanks, took them out of the game. Now the M103 decides to come out. You got to watch the minimap. You got to look at what your buddies are doing and go with the flow, because if they're attacking, you got 2 of your big tanks attacking like that. You know, IS and IS-3, you need to support that push, especially since he had flank shots on me. And if he was watching the minimap and using his, you know, alt or whatever he uses to see what tanks what, he would have seen that he could have easily flanked me and hid behind cover, so I couldn't have shot him. He didn't, though. He basically chickened out. When you have a big tank like this, you got to push. You got to be aggressive. Heavies have to be aggressive, especially if you're top tier like that guy is and I am. Now I'm going to flank this guy. We got plenty of guys coming up on the 7-8 line. I'm going to go around to the 9 line and flank this guy. That way he can't hold out and do a lot of damage to my team. He doesn't even see me on the mini-map. Right into the back of the turret. Boom. Just like I was talking about. Don't take any chances. Make sure you aim, even though it should be easy shot. I'm going to keep taking this guy out. He's the biggest threat. Trying to get him, but yes! Track and damage. Always try to do that. Makes him use his repair kit. Now I'm trying to come in to get my front plate on this guy, or my mantlet. He does get a hit on me in the side of the turret a little bit. And I get a shot on him. And now watch this. I'm dancing around right here. See me dancing around to see if he can not get a shot on me. He shoots me in the mantlet because of that. And back up, boom, right through the front plate. So watch out for this though. G-Dub trying to get a shot on my back. I back up a little bit. He shoots over my face. Nice. Could have easily killed me, no problems. So he's gonna be reloading all day long. I try to get a shot, you know, just to get some extra credits and stuff. No dice. He's dead. Pretty much game over. 11-1. This is an obvious raffle stomp. I didn't show you this game because we raffle stomped him. I showed it to you because really the two things, the dancing, three things: dancing, shooting the guy square in the butt and not taking chances, and then the other one was watching out for flank opportunities by the enemy flank opportunities. I assessed that I would not be in trouble, would not be, probably would not get flanked. Really hurried up with my mobility to get behind those houses, and I was good to go. So anyway, yeah, I'm thinking about bringing back Fan Fridays. I'll probably be doing them every other week, though, where I'll be talking about different things I'm doing on the channel, different projects, how they're going. I'll be talking about DG Army. I want to do an update video. I've been saying I'm going to do one. Me and the officers have been talking about that. I'll be doing stuff like that on Fan Fridays, probably every other week. So anyway, great game here on a ×3 day. That's about 1,250 point game, maybe 13, almost 1,300. Nice credits at 40,000. I didn't get any medals, but I destroyed 3 and damaged 1. 10 out of 13. Again, the whole point of this thing was to show you those few things I just talked about. So let's get another game. This game I had on steps and encounter mode. I seem to get this map and mode quite a bit, actually. Seems like almost every time I get this map, I get this mode, which is fine. I love this map, especially with this mode. Right away, people on our team are thinking, oh great, we have 3 bats on our tier 10 slots, there's no way we're going to win this. And I kind of think they could be right, because they do have 4 big tier 10 heavies, and while tier 10 mediums are great, they're not that good. Well, the bat is not as good as it used to be. They can unload a lot of damage, but they die really fast, so kind of wish we did have the bigger, at least a little bit of more different diversity here, especially having a tier 10 heavy tank would be nice. So, side shot on that E100. Now, I don't know if you just noticed, but I did have a little bit of lag there, and that's because one of my drives in my raid array is dying. I've already restarted my machine 2 times tonight because it's dying out. Luckily, I already have another one on order for the one that's dying out. I know which one it is. So I'll have to like reformat my whole machine when I put that new drive in, reset up the raid array, but whatever, you know, stuff happens. So that's the way the cookie crumbles, though. So that type is out of the game. Nice. It's not that big of a deal because the type is only tier 8 in this game. It's not that big. I'm kind of not being very smart sitting right out in the open like this. If we do get spotted, the RD is going to come right down on my face. Not real bright. Someone did notice, recognize who I was in this game. That was kind of cool. This is fresh off the press, though. I just had this game about 2 hours ago, probably. I didn't think I had... I wasn't sure if I had 3 good M103 videos. I had a whole bunch, but I couldn't use them because the tank wasn't fully unlocked. But I actually did. This would make 4. So here's a bat trying to sneaky style us. I push T to let everybody know I'm shooting at him. Track him, damage him. He's pretty much going to be out of the game now. Taking all that damage. IS-4. Oh, I'm getting hit by something I can't see. Now, this is where, even though I have 390 view range, because that tank is sitting behind those bushes over there, I can't see who it is, if you notice. Okay, it's probably that Patton. I hit the Patton. There's probably are other tanks back there. I know that the E100's over there. Anyway, I'm going to take shots on this IS-4 all day long if he's going to sit out there. So you can see how much pen this gun does have. I just hit the IS-4 in the top plate, which is a lot harder to do now, unless you hit the driver port exactly. He was also angled there. That helped me out a lot. Somebody who I couldn't see, again, shot at me. I'm trying to take this guy out. I'm just going to take this guy out if he's just going to sit here. And this is a great game because what I'm doing here is I'm staying pretty much hidden, but also spotting for my team and using this 269 pen gun to do some damage. Also angling my armor. I'm doing everything I can possibly do, even hiding behind this... Wow, now I'm almost out of the game. I got hit by something really heavy. There we go. Took him out. So right here, Artie could easily hit me if they were focusing over here. Right behind that rock. He could even splash me. If they just came down right there, I'd be dead. So now I'm pushing out a little bit. I don't like that spot I was in because I can't see who's shooting at me. Probably the E100. That's probably who was shooting at me for how much damage he was doing per shot. Both of our T95s are out there, and I'm trying to watch that T95's butt. Because I don't want those guys to come out and pot shot him in the back. So our Artie's working on their T95. And their T95 shoots our T95. So I'm again hiding behind a bush. It helps a little bit in these bigger tanks, but not a lot. We need to take that T95 out. The Tiger II does move up to do it. Now, where you can shoot these guys is right underneath the gun on the T95 and the T82. Right there, you can see. Bam! Now the Artie takes him out. You can see when my cursor turns green on the dot that I can pen that armor. Generally, it's correct. I don't really rely on it. I already know where I can penetrate, so I don't really care. Now we've got these guys on the run. 11-5 game. I can still die, though. I don't really want to die. I hate when I die when we're this far ahead. I'd rather play it safe than die. Trying to get a couple more shots in here, though. One more shot and I'm dead, though, so I'm really not... See, I'm looking where his gun is. But I'll let the Tiger take the damage. He's just going to roll out there. And Artie takes him out. Now all we have is the E100 and E75 over here. Let's look where the E100 is aiming first before I pop out. There, yep. No way I'm going in there. It'll be a one-shot. Again, the Tiger II decides to just roll in and take the hit. And die. And that's what you don't do. There's no point in doing that. He thought, well, at least get one more shot off. Probably kill him. But that guy is set. He's all set up. Now, again, I'm going to look... Oh! Wait till he's distracted by somebody else. Also, I'm helping distract him so that somebody can take a shot. E4 gets the shot off. Again, great game here. Pretty good at the end, showing you what you need to do when you're coming up on enemy like that. Use your right mouse click and look around the obstacles and see where people's gun is. Maybe you're in that kind of a situation when you're getting flanks. Maybe your job is to just distract the guy. You know, you don't have to be shooting. You just want to get the win. So, again, great game. 1,200 point game. 35,000 credits. I didn't get any medals, but I did destroy that IS-4 Tier 10 and damage these two guys pretty heavily. 8 out of 8 shots connected. Great game. Lots of great teamwork there and great positioning. Let me know what you think about this tank. It's one of my favorite tanks, and I can't wait to get the T110, though. That's probably the next Tier 10 I'm going to get, unless I can get the 60A or 62A first, which I don't know. I'm actually a little bit ahead on the M103, and I just unlocked the T54, so I think it's going to be the T110 before I get the 62A. Except, I don't have any Tier 10 mediums, so maybe I'll go after that first. Anyway, thanks. Let me know what you think. See you guys later.